Estamos aqui novamente em Austin, no South by Southwest 2024, falando com o pessoal do Zonacurva no Brasil, do shows. E é um prazer hoje estar com a banda Myrkvi. I said it correctly?
Yeah, it's perfect.
So, you guys, say
Myrkvi.
Myrkvi.
Yeah.
So let's start with the name of the band. What it means.
Well, it means eclipse in Icelandic, and well, it started out like a solo project of mine. Although the last album was made with Yngvi here, our album together. And well, Magnús is a very common name in Iceland, and so I didn't want to use that when I started it. So I just opened up a dictionary and found a word I liked, basically. I thought it fit somehow. Can't explain it.
And I read about the beginning of the career of the band. It's written that you guys made an impact with the first single.
Yeah, we did.
How it happens? Tell us about it.
So there was an album that was quite a long time in the make. The first recordings of that album were like, my friend was learning how to be a sound engineer, and like he was like, I know you got plenty of songs, like come here and like let's make an album. And we did, and like in 2020 we finished it, and yeah, we decided to go with one song in Icelandic and use that as the first single, which usually works very well in Iceland, like songs in Icelandic. It went like to the second place on the national radio, and like so it was a good kickstart of the Myrkvi.
And it was to release that song during the pandemic, 2020.
It's not easy for musicians, and it was a bit hard to like start a new project during COVID, like because you couldn't really follow it up properly, like with enough gigs and stuff. But we did what we could, you know, like live sessions and whatnot, and we managed to like do gigs in between, like when things slowed down. Yeah, actually we had a gig the same day that the first confirmed sick person in Iceland. That was our first gig in Iceland. On the same day.
How you guys evolved as a band from the beginning?
The next album, as I said, like was like our project, which had been a long time in the making too. So we really want to finish those songs of ours, and that's basically the album we have just released and the songs we're gonna play tonight. Oscar and Ellert came in at the start of when we were rehearsing that stuff, and like these are songs that sound best when it's a four-piece band, basically.
How you guys develop as a musician? As kids in school, you have music classes, and how did each one of you start to play the instrument that you guys play now?
I have an older sister, older than me, and she was training the piano, and I wanted to be better than her, basically. So I started playing the piano and tried to be better than her at every level and every field. But now in this band I'm playing the bass, and it's kind of a coincidence. I met these guys at a party and we were talking about their album. We were listening to their songs and everybody was grooving to it. Somebody asked like, hey, how's the band going? And Myrkvi said like, yeah, it's going great, we just need a bass player. So my friend was across the room and he shouted across the room like, hey, Ellert can play the bass. And that's how I joined the band.
I just always liked, you know, rock music, like the old 70s rock bands, Led Zeppelin, Deep Purple, when I was younger. So eventually that leads up to wanting to play the guitar. So just got a guitar and started playing.
I like studied the violin when I was younger, like until like started college or something, and then slowly the guitar took over because I also liked from the beginning to like write my own songs and sing as well.
To get girls.
To get girls, yeah. I found like a new outlet with the guitar because I could sing and I could write songs, basically.
Started out playing the piano, and I really thought it was really boring. But I still wanted to play music. Eventually became really interested in drumming and bought a drum set when I was 13, I think, with the money I'd saved up. And my mother and I decided that since I didn't like the piano, I liked the drums, you do the drums. Started playing basically rock and roll, and with him,
Yeah,
I mean, we started playing together when we were what, 14?
14, 15, something like that.
Something like that.
You guys made this first album together.
The second album.
How was your creative process?
These songs probably were made like just jamming, me, Yngvi, and two other guys that where we used to be in a band with called Vio, and that project just kind of died down. But me and Yngvi wanted to take like the songs we had written further and like complete the album. It's an album that we recorded ourselves, which was very nice to do that. Like you could like really sink into it and like go to all the details and stuff.
Like most of the time the songs are your ideas, your songs, and then I maybe add to them.
And not all of the songs.
Not all of the songs.
Some of
Yeah.
them are like your stuff.
Yeah.
Like
But
when you come with the riff first
Yeah.
sometimes. And,
But you are the lyrics and like the melodies and stuff.
But we've been working together for a long time. Like
10 years.
10 years, yeah.
Can we say that you guys are moving from a sound a bit more folk to a sound more psychedelic? You agree with that?
Compared to the first Myrkvi album, the sound is more experimental on this one. I would say.
Yeah.
I would say it's my fault. And
Yeah, it's English soundscapes and stuff.
but Magnús is a folk goblin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really like folk music, world music, all that. But I'm also into like this neo psychedelia, indie rock stuff.
Why do you think this new psychedelia is happening right now? Because we know we have all the history of the 70s, psychedelic drugs and war and people trying to get away from the daily things in their lives. You think it's the same, or you think we are a completely different moment?
Isn't it just like a full circle? Thing started in the 60s, maybe 70s, and we went to like disco and the 90s thing and everything, and now we're just back to the...
Tell me something, how is the musical scene in Iceland? Because we know that it's not a huge country, it's small population, and we are from Brazil. As a Brazilians, we imagine that everybody knows everybody in Iceland. But how is to play? The bands have spaces, festivals. How is the scene in that way for a starting band?
Well, it's depends on the genre of music, I guess. Like there are big pop stars, obviously, in Iceland. Like the grassroots scenes in indie rock and punk and metal and whatever. It's like a small, compact scene in Reykjavik, basically, and a few venues in the countryside. Most of the musicians play in a few bands, and people know each other, and it's very friendly, I guess.
I mean, people know each other. Like you said, you always know somebody, and usually you know everybody. But I would say like there are fewer venues than there used to be. There are not as many venues, which is sad.
basically no venues left.
You also had some festivals there that start to be known outside.
Yeah, Icelandic Airwaves.
Like Iceland Airwaves.
Yeah, of course, it's the biggest one. We had another one called Secret Solstice.
Yeah.
But Icelandic Airwaves has done a lot for musicians throughout the years because it's a really big window. Because like getting abroad and playing abroad is a bit hard because of the flights, basically. It's always an investment to do that. And so it's great to get the music industry to Iceland and showcase the Icelandic acts, basically.
We are in South by Southwest, and we have two subjects that everybody's talking here. One's AI. The other one is climate change. We are from Brazil. Climate change for us as well is a very important thing. And you guys live on an island, so it's really important as well. First, on AI, do you think that will have impact in your music or in the music in general?
I hope not.
Yeah. Try not to think about it, to be honest. It's just something that's happening and probably take some opportunities from musicians, I guess. So it's not great, I think, but don't think too much about it, to be honest.
Let's just hope it goes the right way.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens.
What about climate change? You guys have some concern about that, and this concern reflects on the music in some way?
Yeah, of course, we're concerned about that. I think every individual should try and do the best he can and push the government to do as much as possible, and let's hope things will turn out well. Yeah.
So let's talk about the future of the band. How do you guys see the band in 10 years, 30 years?
I haven't thought about it in that long aspect, but the next album will be a solo album again, so it's an album that's actually finished. We'll start releasing songs soon. Will be a solo project for the next album at least, but it's also kind of a crew and friends around it, and these live band, live performances are always going to be important. So just keep on rocking and have fun.
You guys have a history of so many bands and artists from the 80s to here that people know. That's very nice. You have some figures like Björk, that's the Bob Marley from Iceland.
Yeah, that's a good comparison.
Yeah.
Björk Marley.
Björk Marley.
So guys, many thanks for the interview.
Thank you.
Thank you.